It's your girl, Princess with the Real from Marietta, Georgia, and I am on Industry's Most Wanted.
Hey, what's going on, man? It is your girl, TampaMystic, and we're live. Where are we at?
Industry's
The big one,
Most
not the little one.
Wanted.
Industry's Most Wanted, and today I've got one of the Industry's Most Wanted in the building. Princess with the Real. What's going on? Beautiful.
Look, first of all, it's good to sit down with you again. It's
Girl,
been a minute.
I know. We've already been playing catch up before we...
Always got to do that.
Absolutely. Listen, we've got to figure out times for us to get together because we have great energy together.
Yes, we do. And I keep saying, I keep reaching out, like we need to get up. And then it's like, you busy, I'm busy. The times don't never coincide with each other, but we finna make it happen.
Right.
My babies is getting grown. They grown now. So I can start moving a little bit more.
Exactly. Absolutely. So before we dive in, give us a brief introduction of Princess with the Real for what you want the world to know as your intro.
So, of course, I am Princess with the Real. I am full of personality. My whole motto is to inspire and motivate people to continue to go after everything that they want in life. So, what I try to do is show people me in real life and the things that I do in real life, so that way it inspires and motivates people through all of the trials and tribulations and things that I went through in life. I want to help other people. I never had anyone there to help me. You know, I never had anyone in my corner giving me advice and telling me things. So now what I do is live it by example and showing people an example of this is, you know, real life. You know, you go through struggles, you go through ups and downs. You don't gotta have a gym membership to lose weight, you know, all of the above. So my platform is about inspiring and motivating people to go after their dreams, with showing my personality through that as well.
Listen, you have a beautiful, big personality, and I love that about you because I do too. And sometimes this slick be offending people. Do you ever get that or deal with that?
Always. And I think my biggest thing is females. Like, I offend females.
Men too, though. I ain't gonna lie. I be having some men be coming for me. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm just like, because I feel like some men can't handle a strong woman.
I think that's in this industry.
Yes.
And I agree 1,000% with that. In this industry, it's so hard because men can't handle a strong woman. They feel like you coming at them sideways. No, I'm talking to you the same way you talk to your homeboys. Like, understand, it's just because I'm a female don't mean that I have to talk any less than who I am to make you feel better and superior as a man.
Do you feel like that people get intimidated, male or female, by your big personality?
Yeah, I feel like they take it as I'm conceited sometimes, or okay, she's doing too much, or you know, it's always something. And I hear people say stuff behind my back all the time, and sometimes it's people who supposedly close to me, and things come back to me that someone said something, but it's because of the intimidation. It's because they see the shine that I have, the light that I have, and they don't like it.
I feel like that's why my circle keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller, because it's like, you know, good and well, at the end of the day, most people talk about somebody at some point in time in their life. They just do, whether they're venting or they're just envious, intimidated, whatever it is. So it's like, who do you trust?
Me, that's who.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's me versus me at the end of the day.
And that's the sucky part about, you know, life and living. Really, like, you want to be able to trust other people.
Yeah.
You want to be able to have people in your corner. It's always good to have people in your corner supporting you. But in my 30 some odd years of living, I've never really had that.
Listen, and right now it's really your time to shine. It always has been, but like you said, both your babies are grown and graduated. Congratulations on that, first and foremost, because I feel like in today's world, that's a big success. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
People aren't even making it to 20-something years old at this point in time. So definitely congratulations on that. So now that the babies are graduated, what's up with Princess with the Real?
So now I'm ready to take my things to the next level. I want to start traveling more. I want to be booked and busy every day of the week. I want to be working with different clients. Of course, I work with Too Hot Radio as operations manager, on-air personality, but I want to grow. I want to do more, and I don't want to be put in a box. Everybody keeps saying, what do you want to do? What's that one thing? I like interviewing interviewing people and hearing people's life stories because I feel like it inspires and motivates other people. I want to get into acting because that's just my personality. It's fit for acting. So that's something else I want to get into. I work towards my weight loss goal because I keep saying I want to get back to that weight I was before I got pregnant, which was 15. Now, can I get back to that weight? I don't know, but it's a challenge. And for me, getting there too, I can get into acting because I don't want to get typecasted because of my body size.
Listen, absolutely. You never want to get typecasted. You want to come in there saying, I can do anything. If you need me to play the villain, I'm going to be the villain. If you need me to be the sexy one, I could be the sexy one. And I see you out here, boy. You be out there at the hottest time of the day, sweating bullets, getting your 4.7 miles in. I didn't even know because I be paying attention. I'm like, it motivates me too. There are some days I'm like, man, I don't want to do nothing. Then I'm scrolling. I see you out there walking. I'm like, damn, I guess I got to get up and go do something.
Look, and what's crazy is vice versa for me, not with the workouts, but with working.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, you know, meeting with different artists and stuff, I see you always on your grind, always doing something, always adding more to your platform. And for me, because you my sister, so for me, it's like, I'm proud of everything that you're doing, but it motivates me because I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it too. You know, I just got to put in the work like she's putting in the work to make things happen.
Absolutely, because truth be told, do you disclose your age?
Yes.
How old are you?
I am 38.
Okay, so truth be told, I was about your age, maybe a couple years younger when I really first started doing this because I was raising my son by myself. I would think I was 38 when I moved here. So listen, you still super young. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's just beginning for you.
I appreciate that because there's times where I feel like, okay, I put my life
and you
on
don't
hold
look it, by the way.
Thank you.
You look like about 25. like wrinkles where?
And see, at times I feel like I put my life on hold because I wanted to be the involved parent. I didn't want to be an absentee parent. I didn't want my kids calling somebody else mama. So I always wanted to be there for every moment in my kids' lives. So now that they're older, like even graduation and everything, I wanted to be there for all of those moments. So now that they're older, I even had the conversation with them, y'all, mama finna live now. When I go traveling and stuff, you ain't gonna hear from me until I get back home. Like, it's time for me to have my time to really shine and show people everything that I can, you know, pull out and bring to the table.
Absolutely. And at their age, they're probably cool with that.
They are.
Oh, mom's not around, you know, like they be feeling so grown. Because I started traveling when my son was 16. Okay. You know, he was 16 and I was traveling for work though, because in my previous life, I worked at 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, whatever you want to say, and they were sending me out of town sometimes for 2 or 3 days at a time. I make sure he's stocked up with what he's 16. He had his own car. He drove himself to school. So I'm just like,
he was loving that.
He was loving the fact that it gave him some independence. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I never came home to no mess. If there was something that went on, I don't know about it. It's funny because now I remember last Christmas we got together and he finally came out and told me about like when he first started smoking weed. Like, I didn't know he started when he started. I thought he was older. I'm like, dang, you did a good job hiding it from me. You know, so it's like, we know that they be doing stuff.
Yes. And for my kids, they waited until they were 18 to tell me everything. So my daughter, like, she finished school in December, but she didn't graduate until May. So I'm like, you're already done with school. Go ahead and tell me everything. Yeah. She said, nah, I gotta wait till I graduate. So once she graduated, she sat down and told me all of the stuff she been smoking, she been doing this, and it's like, dang, you been good at hiding stuff, because I be on it, and I don't be on it as much as I thought I was.
That's how I felt like I was a true detective. Like, I just knew that I knew everything. I remember though one time, not to get in my son's business, but I remember when he was probably about 16, 17, living at home, and I found a used rubber in the trash. And I'm thinking, so at first my ex, I like got on him. So we got in this big fight because I thought he was cheating on me. Come to find out it was my son's. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Caused all this friction in the house.
Yeah, you got to break a happy household up. Definitely. So you've got big energy. What would be like one word that really describes your energy when you're working?
Oh, one word. Positivity. I'm big on being positive and showing like the positive light. Like, I don't like negativity at all. I don't like to see people down. So I'm energetic and positive.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about Too Hot Radio. You are the operations manager for Too Hot Radio. How do you balance like being somewhat behind the scenes with them, but also being on the forefront with What's Real Wednesdays.
So, and it's kind of crazy because on the scenes, you know, certain people within the industry, they want me to be a certain way, buttoned up, but I'm also personality, you know, so there's different sides to me, and a lot of people don't be understanding that I can be this turned up, bubbly person, but I can still grind it out and work behind the scenes.
Exactly.
So a lot of people get that twisted. They see me on social media, they hear me on the radio, and they like, oh, this, y'all got this girl handling the business. But it's like, I came from corporate. Yeah, I cuss all the time, but I came from corporate. I worked in corporate for 12 years before I got into working in the industry, so I know hard work.
You know how to turn it on and off when you need to, and I think that's where the balance comes in. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got to turn it up, cool, but if you got to turn it back down, you can do that as well.
How do you get people to understand that you know how to turn it up and turn it off?
I don't think that the people who don't do that will never understand. Because they'll look at you like you said, they're like, oh, you got this girl doing it, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's because their mindset's different. They don't have the entrepreneurial mindset. They don't understand what it's like to be able to unwind a little bit. Maybe they're just wrapped up in their corporate life and that's all they know. I don't know. I'm cool. Been there, done that. I'm cool with that.
And that's for me too. Like, been there, done that. I've done the button up and not showing my personality. I've done all of that and I didn't like it. I like being me. But sometimes I do feel like me being me, it stops me from getting opportunities sometimes because people look at me as that wild one, you know?
You know what, though? I feel like that's God's blessing right there, though. If it stops you from certain opportunities, I feel like that's just God intervening, saying that was not the opportunity for you anyway. You know, I try to bring the positive out in every situation. Because sometimes in hindsight, you'll look back at that situation, you're like, dang, man, I dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
You know, like I shouldn't have been a part of that situation, because there are some people and some things, unapologetically, we have to leave it right where they are.
You're right. And
Period.
What's for you will be for you. So
Yes.
I agree with that. Sometimes I get in my own head and I get in my own way of, dang, I waited too long, or dang, okay, should I start changing who I act like online so that way I can fit the criteria of what people want me to fit? I have a brief moment of that, and then I go back to, don't change who you are to suffice somebody else, to make somebody else feel good. Now, of course, my bills still got to be paid. So I'd be like, what do I need to do to get the bills paid, but still not sacrifice who I am? So
on a day-to-day, being an operations manager for Too Hot Radio, run us through like a typical work day for you.
So a typical work day would be, you know, first of all, I wake up bright and early in the morning and I get started. I respond to customers first thing in the morning, from artists, interns, influencers, people looking to do business and partner on all levels. So I deal with customer service. So as operations manager, I am in charge of customer service. I'm also the technical person. When there's things that goes wrong at work, you know, the systems go down, it's me. I'm taking care of that. I'm making sure things are running smoothly. When it comes to shows and showcases coming up, I'm the one that's creating emails and making sure that everyone gets the communication of what they need. I'm reaching out to the locations to help book the locations in, you know, figuring out what they need from us and what we need to put on a show, because there's a lot of moving pieces behind working in the music industry that people don't know.
Facts.
Like, people think like, oh, y'all just getting money for shows, but you're paying a fee to perform. You don't understand how much money was spent to put on the show.
Absolutely.
And I'd say the same thing to interns when they come out to work with us, because they be like, you know, why don't we get paid? Why do you guys understand the behind the scenes? A lot of times people come out to these showcases and they want to be seen. They don't want to work.
Right.
They want to be seen and they want that opportunity to network. I really be looking for people who can work, because I feel like that's how we grow. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes.
And if people are on a team and they not doing a part to make the team grow, then it's one person can't do it.
And it's no different than an internship with other fields you're in. Oftentimes, if you're in the medical field, you might have to go do internships somewhere to get the experience, because a lot of these places won't hire you unless you have experience. You're like, man, I got a whole college degree. Why? But there's no experience. Well, you're going to have to go intern and work somewhere for free for a year, 6 months, whatever it may be, to get that experience. Same thing with you. I feel like that's a great opportunity. Engineers do it all the time. They engineer these studios before they start getting paid.
And a lot of people don't understand that part of it. You know, you got to start somewhere. For me, I started out, when I first started in radio, I wasn't getting paid. I wasn't doing anything like that. Like, I was getting up every day, grinding, making it happen, and not making no money from it.
Yep.
But I knew eventually it would build up to something and I would grow. When I started with Too Hot Radio, I was just on air personality.
Okay.
You know, so what I did was I started showing them by going to the showcases what I can do behind the scenes. And then DJ Outlet gave me that opportunity to come on board as a marketing manager. So I came on and helped with the marketing side of things. And then as he started seeing, like, okay, she know what she talking about, we're gonna let her do some of this technical stuff too. And then it got to where, okay, well, we're gonna let her do this customer service stuff. And now I'm operations manager. So it was about them giving me an opportunity and allowing me to show all that I can do, opposed to just putting me in a box and not giving me that opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like you have to show them that you're an asset and not a liability. And sometimes that comes from either starting at the very bottom or putting in that free work, because someone who works hard to build their company like a Too Hot Radio, you know, they've got a big company now, they've been around for a while, they got to be mindful of who they put in positions. Because if you came in and was an a-hole, you could tear their business down. But you have great people skills. You know how to talk to people. You also do auditions as well.
Yeah, so I do artist auditions where anywhere from 50 to 100 auditions in a day.
That's a lot.
And you know how these artists are out here. Like, everyone believes that they the best artists out here, and they're not.
Listen. Bless y'all hearts.
So it's hard going through those auditions and listening to everyone. And for me, I try not to give any negativity.
Of course.
So even if I don't like your music, I tell them all in advance. You get 1 minute to showcase your talents. I'm not going to show any favoritism. You know, everybody gets 1 minute, even if I don't like it. Now, I do say, hey, my facial expression is my facial expression. So I don't say anything negative about anyone, but I can't help my face. So, you know, they go through their 1 minute audition. And for me, I feel like they look at that as a concert.
There's a huge difference. You're not there to showcase your entire album. Like you said, 60 seconds is not even a full song.
No.
So be prepared. Don't get prepared once you're live with her. I know you probably deal with that often.
Oh my gosh, like, hold on, give me a minute. Stay ready so you don't got to get ready. When I call on your name, I already told you to raise your hand. So if I called you, that means your hand was raised, which means you was supposed to be ready. And that's the other thing. And I know you deal with this too with artists. They don't be prepared and they don't read.
I posted about that recently, and I'll tell you, I had a few people come for me about that. And I'm like, well, y'all to be the ones who don't read that come from me, because and I know you deal with this too. Like, for example, they book an interview with me. I'll send them, I have it copy paste, a little spiel of do's and don'ts. They'll come back and ask me 3 questions that was answered in that information. I'm like, bruh, obviously, and I'll call them on it. I'll be like, apparently you didn't read the information. And they're like, oh, no, I didn't. Why not?
I think that's a big problem for me. And in this industry, a lot of people have told me, like, you have to kind of dumb yourself down to speak to artists and to deal with people. And for me, it's like, I don't want to become dumb.
Right.
Because I'm continuing to dumb myself down to speak to someone else's level. I would rather them come up to my level. How do you, as a person in this industry, continue to grow without becoming dumb?
Listen, and that I made a post about something similar to that too, because I see a lot of people online that bitch and complain about stuff, and I'm like, I always try to just educate them, but I'll give them a shot at it. I'm not going to be your school teacher for a whole semester. You know, I'll tell them one time, and if you don't take heed to it, then you're on your own, buddy. But it's like, you know, I feel like maybe some of them are just dumb, because there's some dumbass people in this world, but some of them just don't know better. So I always try to give a lot of them the benefit of the doubt. And for example, when they send me their music and it's not properly labeled, it irks my soul, because I'm thinking it literally takes like 10 seconds to go into the properties and fill that information out. Because you know, you're in radio. If that properties inside the MP3 is not filled out, you'll never get credit for your radio play. So what I did is I made a simple, quick, like 30-second video showing them how to do it. And when I'll send it to them. Boom, it take me nothing but a second of my time, because I feel like, some of them just don't know. So it's like I kind of have a soft spot for them. But then there's some of them who just act so dumb and illiterate that I'm like, I don't even want to deal with this person. Yeah. I might just probably block them or not respond to their messages and keep it moving.
Yeah, and see, I guess for me, being in operations, I have to respond to everybody, and I gotta treat everybody like the teacher.
Yeah.
And for me, it boggles my mind and it hurts my head at the end of the day, because I feel like I've been doing this dumb people stuff all day. Like, I got to do something to stimulate my mind, because this was dumb. A lot of questions that are asked, like you said, the information be right there.
And that's where the whole irk in my soul comes into play. Like, if you come to me and ask me a question and I haven't presented you with any information, I don't want to come off as you like, damn, you a dumbass, because they truly may not know. But if I presented you with the information and the answers are right there, and then you still come back and ask questions, that's when I have a problem. And that be my problem in operations. Like, of course, I'm always going to answer the question. I'm always going to be positive about it. But sometimes I go to my social media and I say, hey, y'all got to read. Reading is fundamental. Well, and to me, that falls under the category of educating them. That's not you throwing shade or being mean or being a jerk. You're simply educating them, because think about if they get into one of them big boy contracts. If they don't read it, they could end up signing their life away.
And I think that's the other part of the industry that people don't understand is the reading is important for you to grow and go to those next levels and to understand the business that you're getting into.
Yes.
I know me, I've been burned a few times in this business.
Yes.
I paid for studio time to be able to host my show, and I got burned. They took all of my money and sold the location. So,
wow.
In situations like that, it hinders me from wanting to invest, but it makes me now read more and understand contracts more, because that was partly my fault.
Absolutely. I feel like, and that's why, honestly, I got my own space, because there was a previous situation, and I still have a ton of love for them, that I was working out of their location. And then literally, like, one day they're like, we're closing down. And I had interviews booked, and I'm like, dang, what am I supposed to do? And fortunately, literally, this was all God. Right at that moment in time is when that ARC Studios presented their situation. I was like, so I was able to move everything over there. But you just never know. Someone could shut down on a whim, because financial difficulties, or maybe they're moving, whatever it may be. That's why I was like, what, I got to get my own spot, because the only person that can shut me down is me.
Yes. And that's where I want to get to. My goal is to eventually open up my own location.
I can see you with that.
You'll want it thrive. So bad.
You'll thrive with that. I'm here for it.
So that is my goal. Like, that is really what I'm working towards. Of course, financially, you got to be able to have the money to be able to invest and do it.
Yes.
I am going to work towards, trying to get some grants and some different things like that. I've been filling out some paperwork, trying to do different things like that. But I want a location where I can host interviews, where I can do photos, where I can do, it's like a one-stop shop for entertainment.
Yes. Video shoots.
Yes.
Would it be a situation where, because this is where I drew the line, like, I don't rent this space out, I built it for me. Would you have a space, like, if this place was bigger and I had extra room, I'd probably have extra room where I'd say, hey, go, you could rent this out. I'm not there financially yet to have that. Would you want a space where you're like, if you had an extra podcast room, you'd rent it out to help?
Yes.
Because that could help fund your business.
So, and that's the goal, is to have multiple rooms, to where now I can bring other people, business people in, like-minded, who, you need this space for a couple of hours?
Yes.
You need this? So that is my overall goal. And for me, I always think big. And I work towards getting everything in place. I'm big on working behind the scenes to get things in place. I used to speak on it real quick, and then it take me forever to get it in place, and I feel like I told a lie. Like, I said I was going to do all of this, and I didn't do it. But with this is really my heart of something I've always wanted to do. Even when I used to work in the family fun entertainment, Stars and Stripes, I helped open up multiple locations with them.
That's dope.
So when I was working there, I always wanted my own family fun entertainment plaza. So now that I'm in this industry and I'm walking in my light, I do. It's somewhat like a plaza, but I want a one-stop shop for entertainment where I can do every part of the business that I love in one place.
You'll have it. We're going to manifest it.
Yes.
I mean, it would be nice if you could just find a dope building, like a standalone building. Because that's the other thing, too. Like, we got neighbors over there. So we got to be kind of mindful of the noise and stuff like that, which is okay. Because I'm not, like, that loud over here anyway. But it's like, if you want to have a studio room and stuff inside there, or maybe put on artist showcases, if you have a little event hall area, getting them standalone buildings is the way to go.
Yeah, so that is the goal. That is what I'm working towards. That's what I'm putting my all in right now. Trying to find me a location and really build the brand and build the business. I've been working for Too Hot Radio for about 5 years now. Before that, of course, I did new radio on Mob Radio show. I had my own show, From the Bottom to the Top, where I did interviews, The Princess with the Real show. And for me, I want to bring it all to one. And I love what I do at Too Hot Radio, and I don't plan on leaving them. But I want to grow my own business. I want to be able to have something for myself. A lot of times people say, like, you don't even be promoting Too Hot on your page. Partly why I don't is because I don't want it to identify their business as my business.
Correct.
So I promote me, and I'm working towards growing my business so I shine more. Not people want to book me because I work at Too Hot, but because they want to work with Princess with the Real.
I couldn't agree with you more. You have to have your own identity. Bigger told me that early on. He's like, it's cool to represent, Team Bigger Ranking, cool on the DJs, but have your own identity too. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want people thinking that that's all you do. You're your own person.
And that's the one thing that I feel like people forget.
Yes.
People put you in this box. They see you doing a certain thing, and it's like, oh, that's what they're supposed to do.
Right. Like, for example, if a DJ becomes a famous artist DJ, some people are like, oh, that's Kevin Gates DJ. Well, I'm not just Kevin Gates. I'm my own person too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
People box you in. So that's good that, you will promote it, like when you got shows and stuff, but you focus on your brand.
Yes. And that's the main thing. And I know sometimes, like, I talk sexual too. I like, getting into sexual conversations. I like helping people.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like some people need help in the bedroom.
That is facts. They sure do. Some of y'all be boring.
Yes. So that is something else I do with people that I'm close with. And sometimes people get that twisted. Like, the people that I'm close with, they're getting advice and it's working for them. And they like, you need to do this, big time. You need to. For me, I don't want to be known as that freak. I'm a freak, but I don't want to be known as the freaky girl.
So why don't you maybe have a segment on your podcast that talks about, like, intimacy? Because I feel like depending on how you approach it, it could come off as not being freaky, but just being like you're an advocate for intimacy. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like back in the days that could have worked. I feel like now with social media and these men and women,
they sexualize everything,
every single thing, and they get beside themselves. They send dick pics, pics. Like, I don't want that. I'm not telling you this information so you can come and fuck. Like,
listen, we did not ask for that dick pic.
Never.
I don't ever want it. The quickest way to get blocked is send me some bullshit like that.
Yes.
Or her. We ain't. Because I know you deal with it. I definitely deal with it. I'm just like, and what gets me too is a lot of these artists, I'm going to talk to the camera on this one. I be old enough to be your mammy. And y'all be they be trying. Oh, age ain't nothing but a number. I'm like, dude, I'm 51. You're 25. I'll put you over my knee and spank you. You're younger than my son.
And that's what they want you to do, put you over that knee and
Spank
get spanked. They like to be spanked now.
Yeah, they be on some weirdo stuff.
They like all that.
It's crazy to me. So From the Bottom to the Top has historically highlighted, up and coming talent, some people also who are, already in a position. Why is you sitting down with people telling their story before the glow up, why is that really so vital for you?
So for me, I see so many podcasts and just watching TV and stuff, everybody always talk to people with the glow up. And in this industry, most people don't want to deal with you until you glow up.
Exactly.
So for me, I want people to rock with me now. Don't wait until I'm all the way at the top when I don't need you to want to work with me. And so I'm like that with other people. I want to rock with you while you're growing. So that way when you get up there, you know I was always here from the beginning.
I feel like people respect you so much more, because that's what I base this on. 98% of the people that come through here are unknown artists. You know, and early on, I would get some bigger names to come through, and I kind of scaled away from that, and I'll still do it from time to time, but I feel like I want to be a part of their journey. Yes. That way, when they do glow up, I could be like, I was one of the first people like,
yes,
they interview them before. Like, I interviewed Moneybagg Yo years ago. Nobody knew who he was really out here. He was kind of popular in Memphis, but I like being a part of that journey.
Yes.
That way now, when they're a mega superstar, I'm like, I already interviewed him. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
And you don't have to go and give me the accolades when I interview you. And that's the other thing people be looking for when it comes to celebrities. Oh, they got to repost me. I want them to repost it. No, I did it interviews because I wanted to do it. And I wasn't doing it for you to go repost it and share me. Because that's the other thing that I see in this industry. I've never been a groupie.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know half of the celebrity people in the world. So they could walk right past me right now and I wouldn't know who they are.
Me either.
I treat everybody the same. We all put on our pants the same way. So for me, when I see people overly highlighting people, that's not somebody I want to talk to.
I could not agree more. To me, it becomes like you're clout chasing, and it really slick becomes corny to me.
Yes.
You know, like, and it's cool. I'm not knocking nobody if that's what you choose to do, but you know, for what we choose to do, I want to be a part of the underdog community. I want to give them a platform, because how are they ever supposed to glow up if people like us aren't giving them a platform, right?
That's so major. Can you say that one more time? Say it. Look at the camera when you say it this time, because it's important.
Nah, facts. How are they ever, any of these artists or producers or DJs, ever supposed to glow up if there's not people like us giving them a platform when they're still an unknown artist? You know, they got to start somewhere, because all these people who are major artists started from the bottom.
Yes.
Before they made it to the top.
From the bottom to the top.
Hallelujah.
and I truly believe that. So that's why I invest in my peoples too. Like, that's why, like, from the bottom to the top, I have a theme song. So when I came out with that show, I wanted it to be a show, not a podcast.
Right.
So I said, you know, shows, when they come on TV, they always come on with this catchy song.
Yes.
I got my girl Alexis Renee. I paid her to create the theme song from the bottom to the top, which is actually the theme song of my life.
I know that's right.
So for me, it's like you have to not only give the people a chance who's trying to grow and invest in them, because a lot of times people say that they giving you a chance to grow when really they piggybacking off of what you got going on, and they not really helping you.
Exactly.
They're getting help from being around you in your present. And for me, I don't want to glow up either from just who I'm around.
No, absolutely. You want to be able to do it because of Princess with the Real.
Yes, and I want to bring my people up because I respect what they're doing.
And by the way, her real name is Princess.
and that's the other thing too. I get so much heat about my name. When I was working in corporate, someone said it was, your name is like Optimus Prime, whatever that is. You know, I've had people ask, is that your stripper name? You know, people want to see my ID to see if it's real. In India, Princess is considered a scam name. So when I would call different countries working in corporate, they would think I was a scammer when I say I'm Princess.
That is insane. That is insane. Well, shout out to your mom or your dad or whoever named you, because I love it.
Thank you. They were huge fans of Prince.
Definitely. So anybody out here that wants to use their voice, whether it's to get on your platform, you know, to do an interview or whatever it is and share their story, but they feel like they're not ready or worthy, what advice would you give them?
There's no such thing as being ready and worthy. You have to believe in you. You have to know what you want in life and go after that. A lot of people feel like they don't have a story because they feel like they ain't lived enough. We've all have a story. We've all been through some type of trials and tribulations, and a lot of times when people sit down with me, they have no idea what kind of questions I'm going to ask, and I've pulled stuff out of people that they never knew was going to come out.
Yes.
I actually interviewed one of my cousins, and I found out so much, like her being molested and her going through a lot of stuff that I never knew, and she blocked it out too. Me asking her questions helped her memory to come back, and now she's dealing with a lot of stuff that she was dealing with and suppressing in life, and it's helping her to grow as a person.
Yes, absolutely. I think that we have to eventually, whatever the toxic situation is, we have to get it out in order to grow.
Yes.
And I was about to say something you just said, you bring it out in them. That's what separates people like you and I from others. There's some great interviewers out here. I watch a lot of podcasts, but then there's some of them too who just are very surface. Like you said, you could get somebody in here who just started rapping a month ago, and we could have a great interview because you know how to bring it out in them.
Speaking of that, let me just to the camera, be all the way real. Like, I've done interviews where I've sitting down and people has asked me questions about me and what I got going on, but they always gear it back to them, and then it stopped being about me ever.
Yeah. Yes.
For me, the reason why I come here every time when it's time for me to get the ball rolling is because the interview questions are real questions.
Yes.
It really helps people to see who a person is and what they got going on. Now, of course, we bounce off of each other.
Yes, because I like it to be like a conversation.
Yes, and that's the way it's supposed to be. But I honestly don't like doing interviews with people because they don't ask the right questions.
Correct. Listen, I rarely do them. I actually got interviewed very recently, and the podcast interview should be coming out soon by Let It Flow podcast. And he did we were literally 2 hours in because we were just vibing and bouncing off of each other. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
That's what it is all about. Definitely. Was there ever a moment when you had a guest and they challenged your perspective on something? Like, can you recall a moment like that?
Yes. So here's my thing is I believe we all are still getting motivated and inspired by watching others. So I had an interview. This guy, he was very cocky. And it was, I haven't needed any motivation since I was 7. What do you mean? And it was like everything I was saying, he was challenging on some cocky stuff. And it's like, you're not even on yet. You keep changing what you want to do in life, but you're trying to challenge me on my own show. So I knock people down in size. I was taught at an early age, kill people with kindness. So while you trying to be cocky and you feeling like you getting your one off, watch me do me. And it's gonna embarrass everything that you said. So what I do is when I'm in situations like that, I let you keep talking. I let you bury yourself, and then when I post the whole thing, then it's gonna show that you ain't know what you was talking about. You was challenging the wrong person. You was doing it for attention in the moment, but I made you look stupid in the end.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
I seen a post online. I think it's her name is Mel. She has her own podcast, and she talks about like when people come to you like that. No, it wasn't her. It was a guy. It was a guy who said it. Like, for example, if I come to you and I say something mean to you, you would respond to me saying, "Can you repeat that?" And when you make them repeat it, then they might start to think about how dumb they sound. And then you follow up with saying, well, was that supposed to hurt me? You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to almost give them a challenge, but in a, like you said, kill them with that kindness.
Yes. And that's, I learned that in corporate, that you have to kill people with kindness.
Yes.
People are mean. People, especially when they know you working, they feel like they can really get their big one in because you working. You don't get no big one just because I'm working. And this is why I love being me. Because I'm going to talk to you like I'm me, regardless if I'm on a clock or not. I'm going to be me. In any industry that I work in, they have to be cool with me being me.
Absolutely. So when you do interview somebody, how do you typically choose who you want to sit down with?
So when it comes to, it's different. So for the radio, of course, they pay for those interviews. Yeah. When it comes to the front to bottom to the top show, I never charge anyone for an interview just because I was getting their life story. For me, I said I wanted to start out with everyday people. Of course, I had your Trillvilles and Terry Miles. I had different people on there that's known, but I really did everyday people. And how I started was, people that I knew already from past experiences with them, that I knew had somewhat of a story. I started with them. Now, what I did learn with a lot of those people is people come on to do interviews and you're asking all of the right questions, you're getting all of the information, but then they realize afterwards that they said too much.
I've been guilty of that. I ain't gonna lie. Myself.
You said too much.
There have been times like I interviewed with someone else and I actually went back and said, hey, can you cut that part out right there? Because
you're her.
I don't do that now.
Okay.
Now I very intentionally say only what I'd want to be on camera.
Okay.
Back in the day, there were times where I was that person. I ain't gonna lie, because I would just be letting it flow, and then I'm like, dang, maybe I shouldn't have said that. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like this 2-hour interview I did recently. I'm like, you can post everything I said. I'm cool with that because I'm very intentional now with the things that I talk about. It was a learning lesson.
You were doing that, how long ago was that?
That was probably years back.
So you learned through time.
I learned through time, absolutely, because I felt like back in the day I didn't have no filter.
Yeah.
Now I feel like in order to keep ourselves from going down a stupid rabbit hole and being stressed out, we have to limit what we say to the world.
Yes.
You know, back in the day, I didn't give a damn. I was like, who cares? But once your name starts getting out there and you start building a business, you have to be somewhat mindful of that. You can't come online talking all reckless and then expect people to come shop with you.
That's true.
So I had to learn to scale back, and I only say the things, even with my interviews, I only say stuff. I don't cut out anything. If they don't like it, oh well.
Oh well. Oh well. And I did have to take that moment too and say, you know what, Princess, you got to watch what you're saying. You got to watch what you're doing. And I still have my post and delete moments on social media because I be too happy. I be feeling too good and I post it and then I be like, oh, this is too much for them. I still have those moments. But when it comes to, you know, picking people for interviewing and stuff like that, I like people who have a story. And I don't like people who I interview, especially when I do it for free. Yeah. And then they come back and say, remove the entire interview because I might be going to jail.
I've had those situations too. Not even necessarily going to jail. They felt like they said too much and they didn't want the interview to come out. And I'm like, dang. But I try to like let it slide. I'll move on to the next one. You know what I'm saying?
I think for me, it hurt me a little bit. It because it wasn't one person. It was about 4 or 5 people.
Oh, and you put a lot of time and
I put a lot of time, money, and effort into putting this out there, and for them to come back after the fact, and then just to hear like after the fact, like, this person is in jail for molestation, and this is
because people don't understand your time is priceless. You can never get it back. So if you spend an hour of your time, 2 hours of your time with somebody, and then they're like, just flush it. Like, dang, that's 2 hours I could have been doing something else.
Yes.
Or like when they don't show up for the interview. I don't care if you pay for it or not. The fact that you don't show up, especially if they pay for it and they're like, oh, well, can you reschedule me? Absolutely, you got to pay.
You got to pay again.
Yeah, because you paid for this time spot. Now, if I give you a second one, you essentially get 2 of my time spots for the price of one. Sorry, we ain't doing all that.
You got to pay for that next one.
Yes.
And I'm with you. And what's crazy for me is the people who don't show up be the ones who are the biggest names.
I had that happen fairly recently.
And it's just like, you want people to show up for you. You want your fans to show up for you. You got to show up for other people.
Yes.
And you got to be willing to help people grind it out and get on top too. Because just like you had people there helping you showing up to somebody's platform, even if it's for 5 minutes, could help kickstart their career to a whole nother level. Don't be that selfish when you know that you had help getting where you are.
That is facts. Where can people find Princess with the Real next? Do you have any events or anything coming up on the schedule?
So we do have some events coming up. Too Hot Radio. They can go to toohotradio.com to be able to check out those upcoming events. They can go to my website, Princess with the Real, to see everything that I have going on. I am gonna start doing a real spiel, however I would say it. A real spill every Monday, where I'm just gonna be talking real shit. I'm gonna post it on my YouTube. Of course, Wednesdays is What's Real Wednesdays. I do that every week, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I want to give people more of me talking.
Yes.
More motivation, more inspiration. I used to do that a lot in the past, and I got away from it because I've been so busy with the radio and stuff like that. But now it's time to get back to me. I'm planning to, have an event next year that will be kind of like my coming out of, this whole being at home mom type situation.
Right. I love it.
So that gives me time to get everything in order and geared up. I did just order me a Billboard book bag. So
I've seen that. That's super dope.
Yeah. So pretty soon I'm gonna start promotions for that, where I'll be going through different cities, different areas, promoting people's businesses, promoting people's music, because of course it has sound and everything.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be another opportunity for me to network with people, but also help other people's businesses to grow.
I love it. I love that you're such an advocate for helping other people. That's why God continues to bless you.
And that's why I do it. Honestly, I believe that I get my blessings from helping others, and not from them, from God.
We don't get our blessings from no man. We get them from God. Hallelujah.
Yes.
I know you gave me your website. Tell them your socials as well that you're active on.
So my Instagram is Princess with the Real. My Facebook is Princess with the Real. You can also check out my YouTube channel, Princess with the Real, as well. I have so many of my past interviews on my YouTube. I am actually going to start pitching that, going through TV channels and stuff like that, to try to pitch some of my shows that I've been doing, just because, like I said, I put so much time and money and energy into it. I feel like it's time to go and market it. The thing about hearing people's life stories, it never gets old.
Absolutely. Something I started last week that I went back and dug into the catalog, and I'm going to start posting clips of some of my old interviews, because I feel like the people who started following me this month, last month, even last year, they don't know who I interviewed 3, 4, 5 years ago. Like, I posted a clip from my Big Boogie interview this morning, and it went like kind of crazy. Like, people were like fire, like they didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So you could do the same thing. Pull some of them out the archives, and then that could help, like you said, maybe pitch it to some of these networks.
I think that's the goal right now too, is like you just said, how you pulling it out the archive. That's my goal too, is some of those past interviews and stuff. People only see what you're doing right now.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. And it's like, there's so much more to that. Definitely.
Yes.
Who do you want to give a shout out to or give thanks to for supporting you?
My children. My children have been my biggest supporters from day one. Like, even when I want to give up and I say, I got to be here for my kids more, they're the ones who's telling me, Mama, go do it. Go after everything that you want in life. So I have to shout out my children over anybody. Like, they are my biggest supporters.
Definitely. 100%. And shout out to yourself too. You better pop that. So my last question is,
Industries Most.
We are on Industry's Most Wanted. What makes Princess with the Real the Industry's Most Wanted?
Because I'm a secret weapon. And I got that personality that can fit and adapt in any environment, any situation. I have the skills. I bring so much to the table that if people give me that opportunity, they'll see why I'm Industry's Most Wanted.
She got the skills to pay the bills, y'all. Don't get it twisted. Thank you for being here. Listen, we have got to get a workout, a walk-in, something. Even if we meet halfway, we got to figure it out.
We got to. We're going to figure it out because it's time now. It's time. Yeah. I'm ready to move.
She outside, y'all. We out of here.